Your gut changes during your cycle, even if no one ever warned you about it, even if you've spent years blaming food, stress, or your own discipline. 1 week digestion feels predictable, quiet, almost invisible. Another week it feels heavy, swollen, slow, reactive, emotional, or suddenly sensitive to things that never used to matter. And because this shift repeats itself month after month, many women quietly assume something is wrong with them, that their gut is unreliable, that their body is inconsistent, that if they were doing things right, digestion wouldn't keep changing like this. But your gut is not unstable. It's cyclical. It's responding to the same hormonal rhythm that shapes your mood, your energy, your sleep, your cravings, your skin, your confidence, and even how safe you feel inside your own body. Once you understand that digestion is not separate from your cycle, something important shifts. The confusion softens, the self-blame loosens, and instead of fighting your body, you start listening to it. The menstrual cycle is not just about reproduction, it's a full body cycle. Hormones rise and fall in a precise pattern, and those hormones speak to every system in your body. They influence how your brain processes stress, how your immune system responds to inflammation, how your nervous system regulates safety, and very directly, how your gut moves, reacts, and perceives sensation. Each phase of the cycle creates a different internal environment. Digestion adapts to that environment whether you notice it or not. During menstruation, estrogen and progesterone are at their lowest. For some women, this feels like a reset. The gut may feel emptier, calmer, less reactive. Appetite might drop. Digestion might feel neutral or even easier. For others, this phase brings loose stools, cramping that feels intestinal, nausea, or fatigue that slows everything down. This is not inconsistency, it's the gut responding to low hormones, blood loss, and an active inflammatory process happening in the pelvis. The uterus and the intestines sit close together. They share nerve pathways. When the uterus contracts, the gut often responds. That's why period cramps can feel digestive, and digestive sensations can feel uterine. The body doesn't compartmentalize the way we do. Everything communicates. As bleeding ends and the follicular phase begins, estrogen starts to rise. This is where many women notice their digestion improving. Motility often increases. Bloating decreases. Food tolerance expands. The gut feels more cooperative, more forgiving. This isn't because you suddenly became better at eating or managing stress. It's because estrogen supports gut lining integrity, helps regulate inflammation, and positively influences neurotransmitters like serotonin, most of which is produced in the digestive system. When estrogen rises, the gut often feels safer. This phase is where many women feel most like themselves, clearer, lighter, more confident. And without realizing it, this phase becomes the standard. We assume this is how our body should feel all the time, so when digestion changes later in the cycle, it feels like a failure instead of a shift. Around ovulation, estrogen peaks. Energy is often high, the nervous system tends to be more regulated, stress tolerance improves, digestion often remains relatively strong. For some women, ovulation can bring mild bloating or sensitivity due to fluid shifts, but overall the gut tends to be resilient here. This is a phase where the body feels outward-facing, capable, expressive. Then the cycle turns inward. The luteal phase begins, and progesterone rises. Progesterone's job is not productivity, it's preservation. It encourages rest, containment, and conservation, and it slows things down, including digestion. Gut motility often decreases in this phase. Food moves more slowly through the intestines. This can lead to constipation, bloating, gas, or a feeling of heaviness after eating. Not because your gut is failing, but because the hormonal environment has changed. Progesterone also influences smooth muscle tone, which affects how efficiently the intestines contract and move contents forward. At the same time, progesterone promotes fluid retention. Tissues hold more water. The abdomen can feel fuller, tighter, more pressurized. Even normal digestion can feel uncomfortable when there's less space. Gas that would normally pass unnoticed now feels painful. Fullness feels exaggerated, sensations feel louder, your gut isn't creating new problems, it's experiencing a different context. As the luteal phase progresses and hormones begin to fall, sensitivity increases. Estrogen and progesterone dropping together affects pain perception, emotional regulation, and nervous system tone. This is where many women feel like their gut suddenly turns against them. Foods feel irritating, symptoms feel intense, emotional reactions to physical discomfort become sharper. The gut-brain connection moves into the spotlight. This isn't just digestion, it's neurology. The gut and the brain are in constant communication through the vagus nerve. When hormonal shifts lower stress resilience, the nervous system becomes more reactive. When the nervous system is on edge, digestion is one of the first systems to be affected. Blood flow shifts away from the gut, motility changes, sensations intensify. What might feel manageable in another phase now feels overwhelming. This is also the phase where food guilt tends to peak. Symptoms flare, and the mind looks for something to blame. Sugar, carbs, dairy, gluten, something eaten wrong. But this interpretation ignores something essential. Tolerance is not fixed. The same food can feel completely different depending on hormonal state, stress load, sleep quality, and emotional safety. Blaming food for a hormonally driven sensitivity creates fear, restriction, and tension without addressing the true source of the discomfort. Another piece that often gets missed is inflammation. In the days before menstruation, the body naturally shifts into a more inflammatory state to prepare for shedding the uterine lining. This inflammation doesn't stay neatly contained. If the gut has any underlying sensitivity, irritation, or imbalance, this inflammatory shift can amplify it. Symptoms that were quiet become noticeable. Old digestive patterns resurface. This doesn't mean your gut is getting worse. It means the environment has changed. There's also a psychological layer that matters deeply. The luteal and premenstrual phases often bring heightened self-awareness. Emotions sit closer to the surface. Confidence can dip. Identity can feel more fragile. The gut, often called the second brain, reflects this vulnerability. Physical discomfort becomes emotional discomfort. Bloating feels like failure. Digestive noise feels embarrassing. The body feels unfamiliar, even hostile. What makes this harder is the cultural message many women absorb, that premenstrual discomfort is something to push through, something to hide, something to fix. There's little space to simply acknowledge that this phase is different, that it asks for a different pace, a different relationship with the body. When symptoms appear, self-criticism often follows. And self-criticism is not neutral. It activates the stress response. The stress response directly inhibits digestion. Muscles tense. Breathing becomes shallow. Sensations sharpen. The loop feeds itself. This is why so many women notice that their gut feels worst when they're fighting it. Understanding the cyclical nature of digestion changes this dynamic. When you expect variation, it stops feeling like chaos. Patterns emerge. Predictability replaces fear, and predictability creates safety. Safety matters because digestion thrives in safety. This doesn't mean symptoms disappear overnight. It means they stop being interpreted as threats. Discomfort becomes information instead of proof that something is wrong. One of the most powerful shifts is letting go of the idea that your gut should feel the same every day. Consistency is often sold as the goal of health, but female physiology is not linear. Expecting linear digestion from a cyclical body creates constant frustration. When you allow variation, your nervous system relaxes. And when your nervous system relaxes, your gut often follows. Comparison makes this harder. Seeing other women claim they have no cycle-related symptoms can make you feel defective. But bodies express hormonal shifts differently. Some through digestion, some through mood, some through skin, some through pain. None of these expressions are moral failures, they're biological diversity. Your gut changing during your cycle is not a sign that you need stricter rules. It's a sign that your body is responsive, communicative, and alive. The goal is not to silence it. The goal is to understand its language. When understanding replaces control, the relationship with your body softens. You stop bracing against sensations, you stop scanning for mistakes, you start noticing rhythms instead of panicking about symptoms, and that internal shift often reduces the intensity of the very discomfort you were trying to escape. If this explanation resonates with you, you're not alone. Many women experience these changes quietly, without context, assuming they're the only ones whose gut seems tied to their cycle. Sharing your experience in the comments can help break that isolation. And if this kind of content brings clarity or relief, liking the video and subscribing supports more conversations like this. Your gut is not betraying you. It's participating in a rhythm your body has followed for years. And sometimes, understanding that rhythm is enough to change how it feels to live inside your body.